at
This because of speaker mic.
Iban population. What?
Can I go on the number recording? So much recording of it. So how do the group plan? I will study in all of them.
Okay, Mr. Ibrahim.
Yes, no pattern. Yes, I'm getting you clear.
Okay, thank you.
What
So welcome for lesson today. Just all the way from standard 5. So I shall start with the Kenya, the population of Kenya. So we have the language group, we have the Bantu, we have the Kushites, then we have the Nilotes, then we have the Semites. So I'm going to divide them. We are going also to look at the original homeland of these people one by one. We're going to look at the reason for migration and so on. So welcome. So in Kenya, we have language group, we have the Bantu. We have also the Nilotes. We have the Kushites. We have the Semites. Then we have also what we call the Bantu, Kushites, Semites. Then you have also the Nilotes. We can also have the European and so on. So we shall start with the Bantu. So number one, we shall look at the Bantu. So we shall look at the original homeland of the Bantu, where they migrated from, the main economic activity of these people. Then also we shall look at the areas where they settled or some of the communities in Kenya. So let us look at the Bantu. Now, the original homeland of the Bantu was Congo Forest. Sometimes also we call it the Congo region. You can also say Central region. Then also talk about the border of Cameroon at the Central Africa. So that's what you're talking about, Congo region. And then also we are looking at the main reason for migration. Now, Bantu, originally they were farmers. The main reason for migration of the Bantu, they were looking for land for settlement also or cultivation. That's why they migrated from the original homeland. Also, overpopulation led to migration of these people looking for land where they can settle their population, because we have said originally they were farmers. So that's what you're talking about. So the main reason for migration of the Bantu from Congo region, they were looking for land for cultivation and also for settlement or overpopulation. You can say overpopulation. Then also we have also, you can show it with the land for settlement. So that is what you're talking about, the Bantu. Now, after migration of the Bantu, they came at a place called Chungwaya. Chungwaya is found in Kenya, just at the lower part of the country, around the Taita Taveta County. So they settled at Chungwaya. While they are at Chungwaya, the Bantu, they interacted with the Kushites. Those are the Gala. So Bantu interacted with the Kushites here, especially the Gala or Oromo. So that is the point where they interacted. Now, we had some borrowing of cultural activities of the Bantu by the Bantu from the Kushites. Then also the Kushites borrowed some economic activities from the Bantu. We are going to look at this one by one. So what you are saying is that the main disposal point of the Bantu was at Shungwaya, place called Shungwaya. But you have said the original homeland was Congo Forest. So we are going to look at the Shungwaya. Now after migration of the from Congo Forest, they came then settled at a place called Shungwaya. So let us look at what happened at Shungwaya here. So at Shungwaya, the Bantu interacted with the Kushites, especially the Oromo or the Ghana. Then they borrowed some cultural activities. So number one, Bantus, they borrowed what we call circumcision. Circumcision of male children. So this art of circumcision or initiation was borrowed from the Kushites by the Bantu. The Bantu also borrowed the age-set system. Bantu also borrowed the age-set system from the Kushites. They also borrowed the art of animal keeping, that's livestock keeping or pastoralism. So livestock keeping. So Bantu, they borrowed the art of livestock keeping from the Kushites. They also borrowed the age-set system. They also have initiation or circumcision of male children. Then on the other hand also, the Kushite borrowed some cultural and economic activities from the Bantu. For example, Kushites, we know very well they are pastoralists or they are animal farmers. So they came up and then they borrowed what we call cultivation of crops. So cultivation is crop farming. So the Kushite borrowed this from the Bantu. That's what you're talking about. So after finishing that now, we are looking at now Bantu originated from Congo Forest. They settled here. They later migrated from this area. Why? Because they were attacked by the Gala. So the main reason why the Bantu migrated from Shungwaya, they were attacked by the Gala. That's what you're talking about. Now we're going to look at the division or groups of the Bantu in Kenya. So number one, we are going to look at Western Bantu, Eastern Bantus. So we have Western Bantu and Eastern Bantu. We are going to look at those communities one by one. So Western Bantu, we have Abakusi, Abaluya, then we have also Abakuria. Those are what we call the Western Bantu. So Abakusi, Abaluya, then we have the Abakuria. Abasupa, most of the time is confused as the Bantu, but those are descendants of the Nilotes and the band of Uganda. So we have only these three communities forming what we call Western Bantu in Kenya. So that is Western Bantu. Now, we have also what we call Eastern Bantu. Eastern Bantu is further divided into two groups. We have number one, what we call the coastal Bantu. Coastal Bantus, we shall name them. Then, so we have coastal Bantu, we are going to name them. So we have Pokomo. Then we have also Mijikenda. We have Waswahili, Taita. Then we have, lastly, we have Wadaveta. Swahili, remember, is a descendant of the Arabs and the Bantu of the coastal areas. So the Bantu interacted and intermarried with the Arabs to give rise to what we call the Swahili people. That's what you're talking about. Then Mijikenda. Mijikenda means the 9 subtribes. Mijikenda means 9 subtribes. Some of these subtribes we have what we call Chonyi, Ribe, Jibana, Giriama, Duruma. Then we have Chonyi, Ribe, Jibana, Giriama. Then we have Duruma. We have also what we call Rabai. So these are example of the 9 subtribes that form what you call the Mijikenda community. So those are the coastal Bantu. Then Eastern Bantu, remember we said they divided into 2. We have coastal, then we have another one called Eastern Bantu. So we are going to look at Eastern Bantu. Sorry, Eastern Bantu is divided into 2. We have coastal, then we have also what we call the Central Bantu. So Central Bantu, we have what we call a Gikuyu, Aembu, Ameru, Ambere, then we have Akamba. So those are the communities that form what you call the Central Bantu. So that's what we're talking about now. We want to look at the main reason for migration of this group, or some of the reason for migration of the Bantu from the original homeland. So we said earlier that the reason for migration of these people, it was led by many factors. So number 1, we have what we call diseases. Diseases, sometimes also they normally refer to it as pandemics or epidemics. So some diseases led to this migration of these communities because some of the areas were infected by diseases. There was now need for these people to migrate to new areas where they can settle and live well. That's what you're talking about. Then another reason, number 2, to look for land for settlement. You can also stroke it with the overpopulation. Overpopulation, because we said that originally the Bantu are farmers. So there was now increase in population in the original homelands. There was need now to migrate to look for areas where they can settle, then establish their homes and families, then establish farming activities and so on. So that's what you're talking about. Another reason, we have a drought and famine. Or hunger. So drought and famine or hunger also led to migration of these people to go and look where they can get some food for their families and so on. That's what you're talking about. Then number 4, we have what you call the spirit of adventure. Spirit of adventure, this is one of the least reason for migration, because we say that spirit of adventure first is going to new areas to explore, to look at what the places are, how these places are, they are, and so on. That's what you're talking about, the spirit of adventure. This is one of the least reason for migration. So that's what you're talking about. We have said the main reason for migration of the Bantu is here, to look for land and settlement of the people, especially the Bantu, because they were farmers. So that is what you're talking about. Next, we are going to look at the Nilotes.